All right. Mm. Hey, everybody. Welcome. And thank you for logging back on. Sorry for the inconvenience. Um, had some issues with the Amazon app. So find a way to correct it. But I'm back, y'all. We do have SD cards for cameras. Yes, let me put it in the stream for us. Thank you. Yes, let me go and find it right here. It's actually right here. Let me show it to you right now while we're streaming. Thanks for that question, Uriah, and thanks for hopping in, man. I appreciate it. Let's see if we're chat's not showing up. I'm still new to the Amazon app, so but there is a this is the SanDisk Pro. I'll show it to you right now while we're there you go. That's the one that I would recommend. Certainly is the one that I use. It's fast enough for what we do as pros. And this is a fantastic. It's from SanDisk. You got to make sure it is from SanDisk and that Amazon backs it up because there are some people that are shady and they sell products that are not really from SanDisk, and so they sell knockoffs. And sometimes I haven't had it happen myself, but I've heard that those things can really crap out, and you don't want that, especially if you're shooting, a family related event and things of that nature. Welcome everybody. Uriah. Wow, 64 gigs. Yeah, man. When you're shooting, depending on what your camera is, I would go with the 64. It's the safe. It's the safe size. The 32 sometimes 32 is good enough if you actually are intentional about your shooting. But 64 is very good. It can few thousand photos in there, depending on what you're using. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am Lemuel, the creator and curator of memes for Togs, and I'm wearing the mask because, as many of you all know, I try to stay anonymous on our pages. So let me know if it's something that I should keep on doing. Kind of like part of the gag. I actually have the crown. Where's the crown? And I used the crown because when I took that photo for my thumbnails, my son shoved it into my skull and it hurt so much. And I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to put it on. Let's see. Let me go. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. Okay. There you go. Yeah, so Uriah, when I started, I actually thought that the 4 gigs that the camera came. Oh, whoop! There it is, guys. There it is. Quick glance at that face. Who wants to look at that face anyway? So anyway, yeah, Uriah. For those that do not know, let me bring Uriah's comment here so that you all can see that I'm not talking into space. All right, hold on. Give me 1 minute, everybody. Again, thank you all for joining me, and I appreciate your time. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Uh, hmm, there you go. There's Uriah. So I'm telling you guys, I wasn't I wasn't tripping. I was talking to somebody. So Uriah asked the question, do you have SD cards? And I said, sure. And then he says, wow, 64 gigs. Yeah, this 64 gigs, and it's not that bad. It's 66.99. And if you have Honey, let's see if Honey has if let me put myself here also. Give me 1 minute, everybody. There you go. And I'm going to put myself here. So if Honey, let me see if Honey would be able to kind of save you guys some money on this product here. So let's see, Honey. See if Honey does it. No, best deal. I think this is the best deal. All right. So it's not that bad. I know I have a ton of these at home. There are some that are less expensive, but they are less faster. So the 95 megabytes per second is a good speed. Normally, depending on your camera, how fast it is and how many frames per second it's able to capture. But 95 is the go-to for most photographers. So anyway, welcome everybody. This is my beginner show. Thursday afternoons live from New York City will be about beginners and hopefully telling them and teaching them what gear to get. But before to get the gear, they need to know what's going on. So if you're brand new to the photography scene, or if you're an aspiring photographer, this is the time for you to know what to buy before you buy it, and even maybe learn how to use what you have in order for you to get better. And I will probably have some pros that will come in and talk about the new gear or the gear. But on Tuesdays, I'm going to be spending some time with pro photographers that are actually doing their business, and we will chat about some stories that they have, some favorite of their memes, and help you guys gear up, level up, or even maybe understand what you already have. I know I am broadcasting to Amazon, and it is a great avenue for you to learn something about what you're buying, especially in photography. There's so many gear in photography. There's so many brands. There's so many things to purchase, and you don't want to go in there. I certainly don't want you going in there buying things sight unseen or without the knowledge to use what you bought. So that's why I'm here. I'm trying to be of value to you guys, and hopefully I can help you and navigate you to the purchases that you need. So for the most part, when I started as a photographer, I really was using, actually, I bought this D5100. Okay. So I bought the D5100. That's the D35. Hold on. Um, I put it on the list of items on the bottom of this stream. The D5100. So anyway, I bought the D5100 really for videography. Now, if you are following me on Memes for Togs, we already know that the D5100 is not a pro level camera when it comes to videography, much less uh, well, it's not a pro gear for photography, much less video. But I didn't have any money, and I was using it for our church, and so I bought this camera, and I really used this camera to learn my craft. I learned how to change lenses. I learned how to navigate through the manuals, through the buttons in the back. I learned how to actually go from using the automatic settings into the manual settings, which was needed when I became a pro, when I started charging. Um, so yeah, Uriah is saying I had 32 gig memory card before I got a 45. Yeah, let me know how the 45 or the 32 was insufficient for the 45. Now, 45 is a very unique number when it comes to memory cards. I have not seen a 45 gig card. Maybe I wasn't looking. Gig card, memory card. Let me see. Memory card. Let's see that. Yeah. I mean, I don't. There's normally 32, 64. I'm not sure how you got 45. Hmm. Let me know how you got a 45 gig card. Maybe you're talking about the speed. Hmm. Not about the speed. I'm not sure. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, because there is four, there's eight, then there's 16, then there's 32, then there's 64, and then you go to 128, which is really more for videographers. But 32 and 64, but 64 more or less is where most photographers really begin. 64. Now, if you have like, no, I did not get it from a store, not Amazon. Oh no, I did not. I got it from a store, not Amazon. Yeah, it's still I that's a rare number, 45. That would be interesting. Um yeah, let me know where you got that from. That's interesting. So 64 is where it is for DSLRs or for cameras that still take the standard SD card. For those that are using QXD or CF Express or CF cards, they're a lot larger, a lot faster, and 64 is almost like the minimum that you can get for these types of cameras. And the Nikon D5100 takes this standard SD card, and 64 is a pretty sufficient amount of memory for this card, for this camera. Now, the 51 D5100 is one of the starting and kit interchangeable lens camera for Nikon. They do have a lower version. It's 31 D3100. So the D51, and then it goes up to D7000, um, and on up until you start getting to some more amateur beginner photographers, which you get a D750, and then now a C6 like this. Okay, this is the newer version of the Z6. This is the Z6 2, which has a dual card slot. The one that does the one before this, the C6, only has a single card slot, and it uses a QXD card. The only thing about the QXD card, it is faster, but they are more expensive. They're about twice the price of the 64 gig SD card. Jay said, "This be good." That's up to you, Jay. Let me see. Let me bring him back. Let me bring Jay back in. Yeah, depending on what you are shooting with your OnlyFans store or your OnlyFans, your your OnlyFans what do you call it, account? I have no idea. I'm sure It depends on the lens, man. It depends on the lens and what size you are shooting. If you are of the less fortunate kind, I would go with a wide angle lens. Um, or I'd rather a zoom lens. Uh, but if you are of the more blessed type, I would go with a wide angle, maybe a 35. Let's see. It says I don't remember. I bought it from a different store where I had lived and moved. Very interesting, Uriah. Thanks for that. Let me see if these things are coming through. So I don't see your chat, but I do see the screen popping up. So that's good. Okay. So I'm gonna have to meme that, bro. I'm gonna have to meme that would hold. That's hilarious. Okay, so let's go. Let's go with a more intermediate, intermediate blessedness. If you're not as blessed as some people, but you are somewhat blessed, the 15 millimeter 1.4 would be good. You do need to back up a little bit because the 50 requires a little bit more space to capture. It really is more of a portrait lens when it comes to beginning photographers. If you want to spend a little bit more, then you could opt for a real portrait lens like the 85 1.4 or even maybe the 105 1.4. But for what we do as beginning photographers, and this is only $376. So when you're thinking about that, you know what I mean? Um, Let me just turn off. I'm hearing a little echo in my ear. Here we go. Okay, so if you want to take photos of like your kids, or maybe you take photos of a model, which is actually probably your sister or your cousin or your neighbor or your girlfriend, this would be good if you wanted to capture um, like a 3/4 shot. And if you want to back up a little bit more, you could take a more full length shot, maybe up from the thighs. Now, remember, when you are doing portrait work, one of the things that a lot of new photographers get to doing is really kind of like not considering the edges or the framing. Okay, it's called composition and framing. So, one of the things that before you learn about um, even like turning the camera into manual mode, exposure triangle, all these other things that you would need to learn if you're going to progress in photography, I think you should stay in automatic and work your compositional and your eye, your compositional framing and your eye before you learn about how to get proper lighting on a subject, before you get to learn how to adjust your ISO or begin to work with your shutter speed or aperture rating. Learn how to frame your subjects. The eye of the photographer is really most important when it comes to the beginning photographers. I think Jay, who's trolling me right now, would probably agree if he's still on. Um, and the reason being is that all of the exposure, all of the other things that will make your imagery better, better lens, a faster focus, a way to tolerate low light, all of those things would be great. But if you don't know how to focus, am I right, guys? Come on, hop in. Speak to me, guys. Let me know. I might be on Facebook here. I'm not sure if we are because my normal streaming software Ecamm is not. I don't know what's happening with that and Amazon. I've got to find out more about it. But let me see if anybody is mentioning me or talking to me on the Memes for Togs page on Facebook. Okay. Nobody's there yet because I did multiple times. I need to like it's but anyway, yeah, if you're on Amazon, if you're a photographer, Let me know what's up. Okay. So I can chat with you. I have a Uriah said I have a 12 by 24 lens. Okay. Yeah, these wow. Okay, what system are you using, Uriah? What brand of camera are you using? Okay, because a 12 to 200 lens, I meant to yeah, that's another unique unique number 12200. Really rangy, which is fine, but most of the time that kind of range is for cameras that are not as fast. What do I mean by not as fast? That means the aperture setting is probably a maybe a 3.5, maybe even a 1.6. It does not tolerate light or darkness that well. So you need to have a very well lit environment in order for you to expose your image or subject properly. And at that range, I mean, a 12-200, if you're looking to really kind of go into photography, I would break that range down to maybe a 12, 12 to 24, or maybe even like a 14 millimeter by itself, and then go and pick up a 35 millimeter camera or a 50 millimeter camera, which is here on what I'm showing to you guys right now. Okay. Um, this will help. I have right here behind me is okay. This is the Nikon D750. I'm a Nikon shooter. Um, and I've had this, I have two of these, and I have on here a 2470, which is your mid-range and closer range or wider range type of lens. And any photographer will tell you that the body is one thing, but the lens really makes your camera. So a, a faster lens on these lenses, on the telephoto lens, the zoom lens, normally if you want it really fast, it's normally about 2.8. Prime lenses can be faster at 1.4. Some of them go 1.2. Some have gone to 0.98, like the 50 Midicon or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. Um, but yeah, I would break that down instead of like a 12, instead of going such a high range between 12 to 200. I'd break that down to maybe two lenses, to like a really wide angle lens, like a 14 millimeter. Let me see if I have it here on my list. If not, let me add it here for us. And you can go to my store at Memes for Togs, Amazon.com/shop/memes for Togs, and you can go to my suggested list. I'm going to edit this list. I'm going to put the 14 millimeter that I actually use. Let me take a look at this, which is the Rockinon 14 millimeter, and that's been my go-to lens when it comes to landscapes. Also, when it comes to like really wide angle shots, I even use it for weddings. Um, let me see if I could show you guys some wedding work that I do. Let me go and show myself here for a minute. Turn this off 1 minute so that you don't see twice of me. Okay. Oh, you know what? What I could do? Let me do this, right? Yeah, no. I'll do this. Okay, so let me take a look at some work that I've done that I've actually used the 15 the 14 on it. And let me see. Okay. All right, that's my work over there, folks. That's my website. And Yeah, this one I did with the 14. Did I do that with the 14? I think I did that with the 2470. I think I did that with the 2470. Yeah, the 2470. I think I did that. Let me know if you want to know a little bit more about this photo. I actually used because I didn't have the money, and in photography, you kind of need you kind of need money. I know it's cool to be doing this in Amazon because I mean these are high ticket items, and so I'm so pumped being able to talk about photography, being able to share my little bit of knowledge with you. For those that are brand new, I get really kind of intimidated for those that are working with me as pros because I know that they know a ton and we come from different kind of like streams of thought, and that's why Tuesday I bring in the photographer, pro photographer, so take off the weight from me, and on Thursday I kind of talk a little bit about beginning photography because I remember that journey. Okay, so you make so 25, there is no length for 25. 25 is not one of the length. 45, I think there is one, but not on this Nikon. So let me know what you're using. There is a 100. Right, I'm talking to Uriah here. So there's a 24 all by itself, but that's going to be fairly expensive and it's really kind of rigid. A 24, really sharp lens when it comes to Nikons. But I would go with a more versatile lens. Even let me show you. There are I think I think Sigma has a 16 to 35. Is that right? Six. That's a 30. Oh wow, that's inexpensive. What? Oh, that's for a Sony. Okay. This is yeah here. So this one, I'm gonna let me put it on the list. Actually, let me do it this way. Um, hold on. Sigma 16 I put, right? Okay, let me see. It was Sigma 18. If you're just beginning, I'd really not grab a more expensive um there it is. Okay. So this lens here is a very good range. And it's at 1.8. So it's very Olympus. Okay, yes. So Olympus has these weird, weird focal lengths. And I have to tell you, Uriah, I'm so sorry, man, but I'm not too versed with Olympus. And you could probably hop on, man. Email or reach out to me. I'm not sure if Amazon has a way for you to reach out to me, but reach out to me or email me at meme for Togs. I'll put it on the comments here. Meme for Togs at gmail.com. Okay, this says you cannot send sensitive information. Okay. All right. So anyway, somehow message me on on this app because I would love for you to come in and maybe we'll talk about Olympus since I really know nothing about Olympus cameras. I go with the three major brands, which is Canon, you have your Nikon or Nikon, and you have your Sony. And when it comes to meme work, which is the memes for Togs here, the only thing I know about Olympus is I make fun of them. they're they're the butt of my memes, but they've been there for a long time, and they're part of like the journey of photography. So I know they do some great. I don't know what they're doing now, and I'm sorry, like Uriah. I don't know what they're doing now. So yeah, reach out to me so that we can chat about it here and you could school me about Olympus. But yeah, when it comes to focal lengths, and this is also good if you're beginning, if you're a photographer who's just beginning, the 1835 here at 1.8. Wow, that's pretty fast for a telephoto lens, for a zoom lens, for a variable focal length lens. Very, very fast. I'm kind of jonesing this myself. 18 to 35, 1.8. Come on now. I've been wanting to get the Nikon or the Nikon 1424 just because I want that variation and the, all of that. And here we have an 18 by 35, 1.8 renewed, $600. It's not bad at all, y'all. Whoa, maybe your boy might get it himself. Whoop. You know what I got? I got the 15 Laowa here. Let me take it out. So I have this, right? This is ultra wide macro lens. It is a 1-to-1 macro lens. I could actually take a photo right on top of of like an insect, or in my case, a ring. It's a little difficult to focus. Um, Obviously, it's not autofocus. It's a manual focusing lens. It does have a way of like tilting a little bit. It has a shifting type of mechanism on it. It goes up and down somewhat. And if you are on the stream and you use the 15, it's not one of the things that wedding photographers would recommend. But I was looking at this because of just kind of like a different angle when you're shooting a like smaller pieces. It has a greater field of view, um, but yet it can shoot in a macro level. And so if you're thinking about it, I was more thinking about like a ring and then the bouquet and all of those things, or maybe the invitation. Actually, I did take a photo of that. Let me just see if I have it here. Do I have it here? Do I have it? I don't think I uploaded my latest wedding up here. Yeah, this is Marcus and Olina's engagement session here. Let me see if anybody coming through. Hi, messages from stream. Okay, it's not coming through. Let me see. All right. Yeah. So I did let me see. Gonna talk about the 15. I think I do have it here on my Facebook page. Let me just take a look. Let me go back to my Oop. Okay. Let's see. I think I have it here. I want to show it to you guys. Can find it on Amazon. Yeah, man. Yeah, like yeah, Olympus is not. Yeah, like I said, I don't really know what's happening with Olympus, so I can't really tell you. But I wanted to show. Let's see. Oh, here I think it's in this And this slot here, set of photos. It's not here, is it? Yeah, no. I bought it, and I know I took a photo of it at one time, and nope, it's not showing. Anyway, yeah, I was going to show you guys how I shot with the 15 millimeter Laowa macro, ultra wide macro lens. Really cool, if and when it works. See that lens? And it's not that expensive. But we're talking about beginning photography, right? So as I was saying, a lot more of composition, just framing. So when you're using the 50 millimeter, let me go back, or even, yeah, let me go back to the 50 millimeter that I was talking about, which is kind of like a portrait lens. I know I took a photo of my son with it. This very lens. Mm-hmm. Okay, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find. I am gonna find. I'm gonna find that photo of my son that I took with the 51.4, which is kind of amazing. But this 51.4, very nice separation. It has fantastic separation when it comes to taking a photo of somebody, and the difference between the background and between the foreground and between the subject. At 1.4, the separation between the background and your subject can really be enhanced. It provides for you, even if you're just using a beginning camera, it provides for you an incredible portrait work for such an inexpensive lens. I mean, how much is it now? $376. Very inexpensive lens. If you're looking at the D5100 plus this, the D5100 here so they have different options, right? Body only. Look at this. Look at the different options they have, man. Yeah, different body options. Let me see the. Okay, it starts from $160 to get started. $160, right? At $160 plus the 51.4, you'd make incredible imagery. Now they do have the set here, which has the 1855, the 7300, and the 1855, which is the lens here. Okay. All right, the lens that is on the body right now. Let me put myself on this side here. Okay. So that's 1855, a very usable variable length lens, 18 to 55. That's good for like landscapes if you're just trying to figure out. The only really thing that you'll find out as you begin to shoot that these lenses are a little bit softer. What do they mean? What do I mean by that? They are not as sharp as obviously prime lenses or lenses that are not part of their kit. I think this begins the 35 1.4. It is at, I believe the aperture is at 3.5. So it begins at 3.5. At 3.5, that means the quality for your photos when it comes to low light, you would need to have it on a tripod and do a long exposure in order for you to really get the kind of light that you need. Uriah, thank you so much. I'm almost done too, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. I appreciate it. Like I said, dude, hit me up. Let me know so we can talk a little bit about Olympus and that on that system. Thanks for hanging out with me, Uriah. Appreciate it, man. Um, yeah. So this actually the 35 the D5100 with the 1855 was my first lens and body. Yeah, so that was my first one. Then I bought the 7300 and I learned how to use that. Took my first quote unquote professional camera, professional work through that. In fact, if you look behind me, I'll show you. I believe I can show you. It's not bright enough. I actually, with this 7300, I actually took a photo that I have as a 60 by 40 canvas hanging on my wall right now behind me. All right. Uh, yeah. So it's a very usable lens if you know what you're doing. Longer at a longer focal point or focal length at 300 or within 200 to 300 is best with this lens. Same thing with this 1855, probably about 35 to about 42 is where you get like the sweet spot. Maybe 45 to um maybe 60, right? That's the 55, 200. They also have that. Um so anyway, y'all, if you got anything from this stream, please let me know. All right. Follow me if you're not yet following me. Leave a review. I don't know how they do it here in Amazon. Let them know. Let me know if you're enjoying what I'm doing here. And I have for you Scott from Stockton, California, a incredible off-camera light photographer coming this Tuesday on this stream at 3 p.m. New York time. So when I post it, make sure that you log on and get yourself a reminder. You don't want to miss this. He's got incredible photography. Let me show you guys some of his work actually now a little bit because I'm a fan of his work as well. And I don't want you guys to miss the opportunity for us to talk to him because he is going to kill it next week. And you don't want to miss it, especially for those of us that are pro or for those of us that are trying to level up our game, for those of us that are natural photographers trying to become more confident with our use of artificial light and how to use off-camera flash. So my boy Scott's coming through and it's going to be fun this coming Tuesday at 3 p.m. Don't miss that. All right. So let me show you some of his work right now. If my overlay system will work out, let me see. All right. Let me work this out. Okay. Yeah, that's him. Okay. That's some of his work. He is so he's coming on with me next Tuesday. And we're going to talk about this particular photograph, how he photographed it, what gear he had to use in order for him to get that backlight. What is he using? Here is probably a natural light with a touch of artificial light. So we're going to talk about his wedding photography work. You don't want to miss it, everybody. Make sure you join me at 3 p.m. and hopefully I'll get my stream correct and we can have a fun time doing it. All right, until next time, everybody. Thank you guys for joining me. Again, follow me, Memes for Togs. here on Amazon. Also, Memes for Togs on Instagram and Facebook, and also on Twitter. I'm also on LinkedIn now. I just made a LinkedIn. So go ahead and join me, everybody. Thank you all for joining me. For those of you that have stuck with me, I don't know how many of us are left on the live. There's 5 of us here in Amazon. Yeah, baby. Let's make this Amazon store the store for photography and photographers. Until next time, everyone. Thank you again for joining me. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you later.